some key terms that was really intriguing for me. A cybersecurity market, reputation wealth, organizational net worth. All these are conceptually I get. Can you give us some examples? Can you give us some concrete meat?
Yeah.
We can really understand what you're talking about here?
So the biggest question you have to ask yourself is, what are the digital crown jewels in my life that if a hacker got into would really piss me off or really hurt me? And for everybody, it's going to be very different. So for example, in our VIP cybersecurity blueprint, we walk you through very specifically questions that allow you to distill what exactly are those digital crown jewels in your life. So let's say you're a founder of a startup. If you have any IP whatsoever, I promise you hackers are going to try and get to it. Why? Because selling your IP on the black market can be very lucrative, especially if you're a startup founder. And so part of our clientele indeed is more successful startup founders because they've got something to protect from hackers. That gets exacerbated by the fact that most startups, case in point your question, don't realize that they have something to protect. And so that, combined with the fact that their budgets are most likely too low to have a proper cybersecure plan in place. Their cybersecurity knowledge is often not advanced enough to go up against hackers, and therefore their cybersecurity policies are not high quality enough to protect their employees and their networks against hackers. And so they really are a sitting prey for, if that answers your question. And to perhaps define the VIP component a little bit more, we're not talking here about your ordinary definition of a VIP. We're strictly focusing on organizational VIPs. So think about that.
Okay.
An organizational VIP. What's your board director, founder? It's your C-suite, right? If you're a private sector organization, if you're non-government, then you've got the same sort of hierarchy, et cetera, et cetera. And so you've got to ask yourself the question of, what are my digital crown jewels? Is it IP? Is it my reputation as a founder? Because if you're the founder, most of the time, if your reputation gets tarnished, your startup is out of business potentially. Now you're getting into another topic that's huge these days that we deal with all the time, which is disinformation. So remember back to the Hillary Clinton campaign. Hillary Clinton had stuff on her personal servers, information that belonged to the State Department. Russia and other hackers got into her personal servers, obtained some fairly innocent, some slightly not information, but all of it was fairly plain vanilla. Added enough disinformation to it, really smear her.
I see. The integrity of her personal behavior, digital behavior, shall we say.
And what did the constituents do? All of a sudden, you've got constituents that are questioning, is she really the person that I wanted to vote for? Maybe not. Same goes for founders, especially founders in startups. And I would, as an investor into startups myself, as a board director of startups myself, I always look at what life cycle stage is this startup at? Is it seed, Series A, Series B, etc.? In other words, at what point does the founder no longer become the longevity of the company? If the founder no longer is there, will this company survive? Until that answer is yes, the company will survive, the founder and the company are both tied to each other and each other's well-being. And so what that therefore means to a hacker is, if I go after the reputation of the founder by accessing their cloud, let's say illegally, of course, obtaining some innocent information, adding some disinformation to it, and posting it in front of their shareholders, in front of their board, so that they think there is wrongdoing of some sort.
I see. So attacking their character / reputation. I see. Got it.
And unfortunately, in disinformation, once the disinformation is out there and you're not prepared for it, 9 times out of 10, you lose that battle. You either get fired or whatever the case is. And another staggering statistic in startups and small businesses. In other words, we're not just talking startups here. We're talking small businesses. And when you listen to the definition of small businesses by the SBA, the Small Business Administration, 99% of companies really are small businesses. Small and medium enterprises. And what is it? 60% of small businesses go out of business within 6 months of a breach.